edition of Coffee with Coach Choi. I'm head volleyball coach Ian Choi, and today with me I have Lorenza Rosenkilde out of Nälm, Denmark, and Whitney Woodrow out of Louisville, Kentucky. Let's just jump right in. As first years, how has the transition been so far from your hometown to New York City?
Weird, pretty much. I think
Right.
it's, also an international jump, which makes it even weirder. But given that I've been here for a couple of months now with summer session, I consider the Bronx my home now. So
That's wonderful.
yeah. So every day that passes, I get more and more comfortable with where I am.
Great.
Yeah.
How about you, Whitney?
Yeah, it was definitely hard and just different at first. It's not, obviously, I come from a little bit further south, so it's a little bit different coming all the way up here, trying to figure out how to ride the train and get on subways, navigate. But everyone on the team was just incredibly welcoming, and I never felt like I was alone. And anytime I had a question, never felt bad about asking it. So even though it was a different setting, I felt welcome, and I felt like I was really well supported.
Yeah. The
Great.
subway.
The subway's right. Okay, and so I would say most significantly in y'all's experience so far is probably our trip to Japan. We just threw you in the deep end, right? You joined the team, we practiced for 20 minutes, and then we took a 15-hour trip to Japan.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite non-volleyball thing that you experienced in Japan?
Oh, it was definitely the first day I got there because I met you guys there. That was crazy. I came right from graduation and hopped on a plane to Japan. But when I met you guys there and we went to Kyoto and we were in the bamboo forest and we went to see monkeys, I was like, this is just so amazing and such an incredible experience. It was also so hot and humid, but it was great. That was my favorite day. We were there.
Okay.
It was a bit more rural.
Yeah.
And we really got to see, the countryside of Japan. I like that.
Okay, very good. How about you, Whitney?
Yeah, my favorite day was definitely in the bamboo forest because I ended up slightly getting separated from the group with a couple of other people. And then somehow we ended up going through the forest and started climbing a mountain that we didn't know that we were on until the trees opened up and we looked out down the valley below. And then we ended up finding a little tea house in the middle of the woods too. That was so fun just to be in there and get a cup of green tea and drink that with everyone, take some really cute pictures I was able to add to my Instagram. But it was so cool being able to see how big it all was and how different of an environment it was from back here.
Gotcha. And then now shifting gears a little bit to y'all's current experience. Y'all come from very different volleyball teams, club cultures, high school cultures. What would you say is the biggest difference right now between what you experienced culturally within your volleyball teams in your hometowns versus how you experience the team culturally here in the Bronx?
Oh, it's very different. When I first got here in Japan, the warm-up was so different, and I was so surprised. I was like, okay, but
How do you mean it was different?
well, we hitting lines is completely different because we do it on one side of the net hitting
Like
one
shared hitting,
direction,
yeah.
and then we share it with the other team.
Okay.
But that was because I just got there and then we had a game and that was the first thing I experienced.
Sure.
But now it's more socially different in some ways, but still also very much the same because how different can it really be? You're a team of young girls.
Sure.
But one thing is on my team, every time a person walked into practice, because we'd arrive slightly different times, they go around and hug every single person.
That's
and
cool.
then everyone would do that, so you hugged everyone hello.
Okay.
And I thought about it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh wow, it's been so long since I've hugged every person on the team.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't really think about that. And so, Whitney, if you were at Assumption and you walked into your locker room and you just started hugging everyone individually, how would they take that?
It would probably be a little strange. They'd probably think something bad might have happened. But it'd be different for sure.
Okay. And so how would you Whitney, same question. How would you describe the differences, similarities between the culture between your high school and club teams versus what you're experiencing here at Fordham Volleyball?
Yeah, I was always kind of brought up in a very competitive volleyball culture, like whether it be like at my club or at my high school, and that has definitely continued here, but to a different level. I think there's a lot of emotion on this team, but like in the best way. Like we celebrate points, like every single one is the game-winning point. Our bench culture is unlike anything I've ever been a part of, and I think it's really fun to be on a team with a lot of people who just care about every second we're here.
Yeah, I gotta second the bench culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so real. The cheers and the energy and how we like feed into the people on the court. 100%. It's incredible, and I love being a part of it.
No, I'm glad you're feeling that because that's definitely an intentional thing that we're trying to perpetuate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, this wouldn't be coffee with Coach Choi without talking a little bit about coffee. Lorenza, you come from such a robust, serious coffee world and life from our previous conversations.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about, what your ideal coffee drink is, and what your ideal, I get that living in a dorm as a first year might kind of, undercut your ability to perform your idealistic coffee ritual, right, in the mornings or in the afternoons or at night, depending if you have an exam. But what is your idealistic coffee ritual when you get up?
I was a barista back home, so I would it was right next to where I lived, so on the way to school or when I got into work, because, we had 5:45 shifts, I would show up at 5:30, whatever I did, I would start the day off with making my coffee.
Okay.
And
what kind of process?
In the winter, in the winter, I do my little espresso, I stamp it, I draw the shot, and I would put 2 pumps of hazelnut syrup in my cup because I like my coffee a little sweet. We had great beans at the bakery I worked at. Like it was great. They had like a little caramel scent to them. I loved them.
They were flavored?
No.
Oh,
they were roasted in a good way, and I think they were Colombian.
Okay.
And then I would pour the espresso directly into the cup with the hazelnut syrup, and I would mix it a little bit before I steamed my milk like a latte.
Okay.
And I do a little flour and latte art, and then my coffee would be perfect.
That's wonderful. And so, Whitney, how do you follow that?
Well, mine's a little bit more simple and involves more of a journey in my car back home. Usually I'd come from after a workout or something early in the morning, and on my way to school there was a Heine Brothers. Not everyone here knows what that is, but it's back home. Me and another girl on the team who are from Louisville absolutely love it. I would always pull up, and my ideal order would be an iced mocha. Usually they're medium, maybe a large if I'm having an extra tired day. Sure. And I would always get one of their muffins. And if it was fall, I would get the pumpkin muffin. It was unlike anything else. Probably a lemon poppy seed.
A lemon poppy seed. Okay, that's a solid choice.
Mm-hmm. See, my coffee ritual here is different too, because I can't make my own coffee. But pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks, I love them.
Yes.
They're great. They give a little bit of sweet thing that I usually get from the hazelnut syrup, and I just love them. And it's the first time I ever had one. It was when we traveled to North Carolina in the airport. It was so good.
Wait, are Starbucks prevalent in Denmark?
Well, they're there, but we don't really know.
Yeah, it's Oldenstein,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Pretty much, yeah. Or this thing called Espresso House, but it's ridiculously overpriced.
Gotcha.
I would just make my own coffee.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. I don't know how to end this.